I don't find myself talking about television a lot, especially on this channel. I really only talk about things on this channel that I have something to say about, and I don't like making points other people have already made. I also just hadn't seen many shows I wound up with a lot to say on since starting this channel. I recently finished watching the DC Animated Universe, a collection of shows starting with Batman the Animated Series and ending with Justice League Unlimited. It's legitimately astonishing how many great episodes of television came from the DCAU. There are a million video essays about episodes like Almost Got Him and The Late Mr. Kent for a reason. I personally loved the ending of the Justice League. The team all finally stopped guarding their secret identities around each other, and we got a ton of fun character interactions. Then Justice League Unlimited started. It shifted focus from 2-part episodes centering on a small team to 22-minute episodes with a large ensemble cast. It's a bit of an adjustment, but I was definitely still on board. Justice League Unlimited was great. It took serialization and integration of continuity to a whole nother level in Season 2, and took it even further in Season 3. However, Justice League Unlimited made a pretty major mistake in how it didn't handle the arc of Shayera Hall and Jon Stewart getting back together very well. This brings us to the Season 1 finale of Justice League Unlimited. The Once in the Future Thing Part 2, Time Warped. Dear God, what the fuck is that title? I know it's supposed to be a reference to The Once in the Future King by T.H. White, but it made no sense when I didn't know what it was referencing, and it barely makes sense now that I do. Putting the reference here makes no sense, especially with the time travel never touching anything vaguely medieval. The title also just does not flow, like, even remotely. I don't have anything negative to say about the first part at all, because that episode is a fairly standard, fun little time travel episode. I, however, do have problems with Part 2 in specific, and the problems I find in this episode are primarily for what it means for Justice League Unlimited going forward from this point. Justice League Unlimited had a running plot thread of Hawkgirl, aka Shayera Hall's redemption after the series finale of Justice League. And a large part of that was her and Jon Stewart potentially getting back together after he reconciles his feelings about her betrayal. The Once in the Future Thing Part 2 ruins this plot thread by giving Jon Stewart a motivation to get back with Shayera outside of wanting to give their relationship a second chance. The relationship between Shayera and Jon was a thing I loved about Justice League Season 2. It gave the serious Jon Stewart a reason to have some fun, provided some depth to Hawkgirl when she didn't have much to begin with, and set both of them up for the absolutely emotionally devastating finale of Justice League Season 2. Above all, it felt natural. Both characters were invested in the relationship purely for the sake of each other. Literally the only problem I had with their relationship in Justice League Season 2 is that it should have started maybe a few episodes sooner. Their relationship was something special, not only because of the way both characters developed, but also how it was the best handled romantic relationship in the entirety of the DCAU. My opinion of the major romantic relationships in the DCAU was not very high up until this point. Batman the First was given a lot of potential love interests, but none of them ever felt like they could really go anywhere. The only relationship for Batman that kind of worked for me was his relationship with Wonder Woman, which was sadly destined for failure because of Batman Beyond. Terry McGinnis, Batman II, was constantly made to either cheat on his girlfriend or have some drama about him not being able to give the relationship his all because of his secret identity. Their relationship was apparently rather functional after Terry graduated high school, judging by how they were still together after 15 years, but we never really got to see much of the relationship in this context. Pretty much the only relationship I liked consistently before Jon and Shayera was Superman and Lois Lane. Still, their relationship went surprisingly underdeveloped, with not only Lois Lane learning Batman's secret identity before Superman's, but it being implied that she still didn't know it by the end of Justice League Unlimited Season 2. Long story short, I generally did not like what the DCAU was doing with its romances, so to see it go and ruin the arc of the only major one I liked getting back together stung a lot. The major factor I'd say contributes to this arc getting ruined is that Warhawk in the Once in the Future Thing Part 2 is revealed to be Rex Stewart, the son of Jon and Shayera. This tells Jon that they're likely to get back together, but rather than feeling like it's a promise that their relationship could work out, it feels like it makes Jon thinks they're fated to get back together, so he has to do it. The arc of Jon and Shayera getting back together was not good for a lot of other reasons. Literally everything about Hawkman and the Ancient Thanagarians was a load of please for the love of God, no. Once in the Future Thing Part 2 made it so that Jon Stewart's motivation to pursue a relationship with Shayera was not his own anymore, and when a relationship is built on grounds like that, it's doomed to not work. Also, a little side note to play at the end, this episode is the last time Static appears in the DCAU. He had the potential to be probably the best recurring character in Justice League Unlimited, but we only got him aged up in a minor role in a single episode, and then he got written out of the climax. I get that it was probably a rights issue for something, but it still makes me sad, man. Not only is this Static's last appearance, but the animations for the fights portray his powers as mostly just energy blasts, making it so that most of what Static does is just stuff John can do. Static doesn't contribute much to this episode and ultimately amounts to a cameo.